All right, thank you all for coming to the next iteration of the contributor technical discussions. Today we have a couple of demos as well as discussions, so we're looking at a full hour being utilized. So without further ado, let's start with Teritori's Miguel and his POC for Vault Key Management System.
Hello, everyone. Can I share my screen?
Of course.
Yes. So this I'm going to present is just like a quick talk on this issue. The idea of this issue is like have a remote signer for Gno. I just take like the image from here because I like it. The idea is today we have Gno key that allows us to generate keys and to use them, for example, to make transactions. But the keys are always stored like in local, like in the local disk. So this issue is try to configure some services, for example, AWS, Vault, HashiCorp, in order to store those secrets because it will improve on security. So we decide to make like a quick proof of concept of what we'll do. Sorry, there is a question? No.
No, I think Guilhem just missed the button. So please go on.
So what we are trying to do is to generate a tool that is similar to Gno key. Will be, in the issue is called Gno KMS. So the final objective is to store the generate private key on this service that will be more secure. So right now, what we accomplish is like two commands. The first one is the equivalent of Gno key create that will create a key, and so to store it on Vault. And then we are able to use that stored key from Vault in order to sign some information. But this is what I wanted to show you today. I don't know if you have some question or just I should continue. Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me? Do you work on Gno-key? When you say Vault, are you working on HashiCorp Vault adapter for Gno KMS?
So the idea is right now I just create another totally different Go services that is contacting Vault. Like for example, here we have imagine this is our Go service. It's just contacting Vault, storing the same steps we do on Gno key to generate the key with a mnemonic. We are doing on this service. We are generating a private key, and we are just storing in Vault. The integration with Gno key is not already done. It's just like a proof of concept of how we could do this. It's just that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Jeff.
The issue says that this is mainly intended for validator nodes so that they don't have to store keys locally. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you see a use case for supporting this beyond that, like for normal users to want to do remote signing?
We could use it with normal users, but yes, as you said, the first the topic is for validators. And this is important because it's all explained in the issue.
Yeah.
But for example, when we want to deploy the same validators, but in another machine, we can use a kind of avoid the copy and paste from the private keys, but just contact like the remote service, remote KMS, in order to retrieve the private keys, for example.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, so where is my code? Okay. So I'm going to show my another screen. Yeah.
It could make sense for Oracle patterns too.
Sure. I don't know right now like the use case, but yeah, I mean there could be like a lot of use cases. I am just going to share my screen like with the live demo. I will be quick because there is a lot of subject right now. So as I said, we have the equivalent of Gno key that will be Gno key create. We have Gno KMS create, and this what is doing under the hood. We are creating a vault user with the password I am entering. For example, if I am just putting my password, everything gets created. I get a token from Vault. I'm just going to show real quick that my secret gets stored on Vault. Sorry. This is my secret I just created. So now I'm just able to make some kind of import from this to use what will be the equivalent of make transaction. In this import, what we are doing is we are entering a password, like same when we use Gno key. We are logging to the to Vault, and we are retrieving like the user token. And with that token, we are able to retrieve the KV. Each space on the KV are like separated for each user. That I will show you like after. Right now, I'm just going to import. If I import with this, sorry, it's not this, it's my key. It's my address. So I just retrieve the token. I get like the Tendermint private key, and I am able to sign some bytes from my some random bytes. That is just what is doing right now. But the idea is to continue further in this way if it is maybe interesting for us. Just to finish, like I can share like some discussion on the topic, but what is important is just like we are ensuring with the policy on Vault that users are not able to access all the KV, only the one that is like in the user space. That's it. I don't know if you have some more question or remarks.
Yeah, I have a question. I got two. Does Gno KMS already exist? I'm sorry, I missed the discussions, earlier discussions on Gno KMS. Who's working on Gno KMS? Yeah.
So there is no KMS as a complete feature. It's currently an idea that we're exploring.
What? Okay. And what is the intent or the goal of Gno KMS? Like who's supposed to say that?
Well, the immediate issue that I'm looking to solve is storing the keys locally on a hard drive, which is a big security concern. And we haven't discussed whether it's a launch blocker, but definitely we cannot afford to go to mainnet with such a vulnerability.
All right, that's true. I guess what I want to say is I would imagine that for Gnoland, we wouldn't want validators to store keys in any data center, right? Like, I think that creates a vulnerability because it's a huge low-hanging fruit, say. I mean, maybe it's not low-hanging, but it's a giant piece of fruit for any hacker. Once their system is compromised, all the keys are compromised. So, like, something about that rubs me the wrong way.
Jay, do you mean like physically or like software?
Well, maybe even physically. I mean, why not? Why not? Why don't we, as Gnoland, say, require that all validators be physical machines that are operated by the validator locally without running them into the data center? I mean, we certainly, even if we were to allow data center usage, we would have to ensure that, you know, not more than some small percent, 10%, say, are within the same data center company, because otherwise, if they suddenly have a policy of shutting off Gnoland, they would halt the chain. But probably easier to just say our validators have to run our own software.
Yeah, just one thing to add. I think we should also think about key rotation. That's pretty important.
Yeah, key rotation is
Key
important too. Yes.
Key rotation and independence between the validation key and the reward target. So several types of keys and rotation be built in.
I mean, we could start like, say, with a software KMS, you know, like, you know, we don't need a hardware one, maybe, you know, at this for lunch because we don't have too much time. But then, you know, like at some point we need to bring this key rotation. Otherwise, you know, like, you know, if you know if your key is about to be compromised or already compromised, you can't just rotate it, and this brings a lot of, you know, solves a lot of issues.
Yeah, well, that's right. I agree with you. That's a topic on its own. Key rotation has to be carefully considered because even rotating the keys has to be done sparingly, otherwise, in a controlled manner. Otherwise, arguably, it could itself create a vulnerability potentially. I suppose it's fine as long as all the keys you're held account for. So even if one of them is compromised, right, an old one is compromised, you're still slashed, say. But yeah, so key rotation matters. Anyways, Christoph had his hand up, and then Milosh.
I'd like to hear from Milosh first, actually. Go ahead, Milosh.
Yeah, just want to give context on the effort because I originally wrote the issue. The idea behind GNO KMS is for us to have a separate process that can manage, basically act as a remote signer for validator messages. So like a remote signer. Right now, the only implementation that we support is local keys on disk, which are unencrypted. And there's like an adapter inside like the terminal code base that reads these keys and signs validator messages. There is actually support for having like a remote process that basically acts like this. This is what GNO KMS is. And the idea for us is we want to add like different support for different services. The initial service that we're supporting is just GNO key. The reason we're kind of supporting GNO key is to add a feature where you, for example, can use your ledger device to sign messages, validator messages, right? This is like something that Ilka requested last year, I think, for the first testnet that we launched, sorry, the fourth. And we didn't have this support. And it's going to mitigate this issue that we have of storing things locally on disk unencrypted. What is literally like the GNO key KMS effort is us creating a mini adapter for GNO key. It's not actually changing any of the GNO key code. It's just creating support to use GNO key as like a remote signer. That's all it is, and everything else. So like the AWS, GCP, whatever, HashiCorp Vault, Secrets Manager, whatever. This is these are just like modules that we can plug in and we can use through like the same service.
Yeah, because as long as maybe we're not, well, right. Well, if we have a policy whereby the private key cannot be stored in the cloud, I guess we just have to make that clear. But if we're not going to allow that and we enable it, I wonder who is going to use it and what kind of vulnerability is that creating, I suppose. But I suppose we can't force every chain that runs to GnoVM to not put their keys on the cloud. So, okay. Yeah.
Isn't that essentially an unenforceable policy even for Gnoland as well? Like we have no visibility as to where people put their keys.
Well, I guess, we could have some visibility and accountability. We could have agreements that say, you as a validator, you can't do that. And if you do, then you're liable in I don't know, maybe you're liable contractually. Or if there's a massive theft, then you're liable as a company. And we could also have, say, possibly some audit. So we can say, show us your code, and then some auditor could take a look at it perhaps and see that it's not using that, something of that nature. I don't know.
Are we like talking about the validator keys or account keys? Is the validator?
I'm talking more about validator keys, but even for account keys, if a lot of our users are storing their keys in the cloud, I want us to discourage that too.
So if you don't want validators to like use your cloud KMS, like what's the alternative?
If I don't want validators to use cloud, okay. If I don't want validators really to be using much of the cloud, but the alternative would be, say, having 2 computers. I mean, there are hardware signers, right? So the intent there is for the hardware signer to host a private key and sign, and there would be a special dedicated connection between the signer and your validator machine. But the bootstrapping way to get there would be to start with dedicated software for only signing that only connects to your validator node. Just having 2 machines.
Yeah, I mean, what I actually meant is that like not like cloud services, but more like do we allow them to like use any data centers like at all? Doesn't need to be necessarily like a full cloud service.
No, I mean, okay. I mean, look, I think if they have physical custody of the machine, right? So if it's like a data center where there are guards and you can go inside, right, and manage it, and it's in your declared location, and say you're like, you declare yourself to be a San Diego or like San Francisco or Paris validator, it means that that's your primary location, right? In which case, if your data center is there and you go there, no problem. That data center service sounds fine. Right? Because well, I mean, it's also arguable. We can even say you can't do that, but I don't really see why we shouldn't allow that. Right? They have better power backup and this and that. There isn't a centralized massive risk of vulnerability where all the keys get compromised all at once. Christoph and Manfred.
Yeah, just briefly, Jay said most of what I was planning to say, but like the worst case scenario would be we make like an awesome KMS and we make one adapter for, let's say, the Amazon, right? And then everyone puts their keys in Amazon, and then it gets all like swallowed up in one fell swoop. I don't think that's like likely to happen super soon, because if someone can hack into Amazon, I don't think that Gnoland's going to be like very high on their priority list right now. But we hope in the future with great success. So yeah, I think we need to think a little bit more about how we would try to regulate or encourage self-regulation, let's say, in the ecosystem to make sure that we don't have all of our bread in one basket. And we could certainly think about constitutionally dissuading certain kind of behaviors in the way that Jay talked about, but that's going to be certainly an uphill battle. So it's a really good initiative, though. Like, obviously, we need remote siting capability, so I'm excited to see this. So thanks for working on this, and I want to encourage you to keep working on it. Go ahead, Manfred.
Yeah, just coming back to the rotating keys and maybe having a different key able to sign versus able to use the reward. Maybe you can just use the concession for this. So at the end, you can start with a single key to do your GNO life, and at some point you want to ensure that you can have sub keys. Maybe you can make one of them with the only action to be to sign blocks, and at the end you have like a built-in system that works for users, validators, and anyone who had have one to many keys, and to also make rotation, because you can just deprecate the previous key and use a new one. So maybe since we will work on the concession, we can expect having what Ilker and I want in terms of rotation to be already built in. So we can focus on making a single system where the security, the UX, and everything is good for everyone, and not only the validators.
Yeah, that would be nice if it's a natural fit and wouldn't delay the account-based session key stuff too much. In general, we want to have like the most serious keys as offline as possible, touched as infrequently as possible, and allow people who are interacting with the system to use more disposable keys on a frequent basis at a lower security level. So anything that we can do to striate that for them will be very helpful.
All right. I don't think anyone else has their hands up. Thank you for clarifying. Just didn't have enough context, and wanted to get that conversation up there.
Thank you all. Moving back to the agenda, we got Onbloc next. Dongwon, do you want to demo the dynamic gas support and gas estimation feature?
Yes. Let me share my screen. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to show you the dynamic gas estimation feature that we recently added in Adena. Yeah, if you put the amount, you get this network fee, also known as gas fee. So first, we get estimated gas used by simulating a transaction. We're using the GM2JS client for this, and then we calculate the gas fee by multiplying the gas price that we get from the TX indexer to gas used. So as you can see here, the network fee, gas fee, is 218 Huguenot. And yeah, as you can see here, 218 Huguenot has been used. And we also have this network fee setting. So we get these three values from the TX indexer, and we added this gas adjustment field. So we got this idea from the Kepler wallet. They have this value to make transaction, to prevent transactions from failing. So you can adjust this value. So the gas price, you can choose the gas price that you want to use for your transaction. Yep, that was it. Thank you.
Crystal?
This looks really cool. Did you do any simulating to see how this reacts under congested network circumstances?
No, that's actually we plan to test it when there are many transactions, because we now set the default values for like this gas adjustment and safety margin. Safety margin is used for to calculate the gas wanted. So basically, gas usage multiplied by the safety margin is gas wanted. We now have these values that we got from the Kepler wallet, but based on like the number of transactions, we might need to adjust these numbers.
Nice, thank you.
Jeff?
Hi, I put in the chat, there's a recent PR which adds an estimate gas function in the Go code, which does a test transaction. I'm wondering if it's using the same process as you have here. I got a thumbs up from Millows who wrote that PR.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
same thing. Great. That's all. Thanks.
And there's another question in the chat from Tony. Is this gas adjustment a multiplier? In that case, should write
Yes.
multiplier.
Yes, it's a multiplier.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Next up is Guilhem with the Gnodev lazy load.
Yep. It's gonna be, I think, a quick demo. Let me present my screen. This one, thank you. Can you see my screen?
Oui.
Oui, baguette. Nice. Okay, so I will show you the new Gnodev lazy reload capacity, which is not like it's a showcase, but just a good performance. There is nothing much visual. So for the context, I will give you the current state of Gnodev on master. So for the sake of this demo, I call it Gnodev 9.8, which is the current reload time of Gnodev, which actually load every package, which is really annoying when you are developing. It should be okay for a portal loop or anything, but for developing on hot reload especially, it's really annoying. It takes almost 6 to 7 seconds on my computer to reload all the package. And actually, since the repo is growing with more package, it's getting slower and slower. So now, if I use the new Gnodev, so the new Gnodev now take a context of the current directory, like you will use with npm. But if you don't specify anything, it's okay. For now, there is no package load in Gnodev. If I reload any package anytime, or if I make transaction, it will detect the package and actually add it to the node and reload the node. So how it works, if I put it in verbose, So it starts with nothing. And if I reload, there is actually a first proxy that will intercept the request, unpack the request, detect the path, add it to the node, and reload the node. If there is nothing, if it's another request, it will just forward the request. In any case, it will forward the request. There is no error with that. So if, for example, if I take the Abut page, it will only load the package of the dependency of this package. If I move to the M page, it will do the same. And it will be much more faster. It should take around 1 second. It's still high, but it's honestly it's okay while developing. Then you have the resolver. The resolver is customizable. You have 3 kind of resolver in the new Gnodev. You have the local one, which is basically an absolute path directory. You have the root resolver, which is like you use like the example folder. And finally, you have a remote resolver where you can target remote chain, any chain you want that has the RPC exposed, and basically test your current package with a remote chain, which will not have, of course, the state of the chain, but at least you can see if it will fit with the actual package and chain. And then the loader that will load all that will once everything is proxy detected resolved, there is a loader that will load all the package into the node and then reload the node, add all the new package on the watcher. The watcher is basically what will trigger the hot reload on Gnodev, on Gnoweb, and yeah, that's it. You can also customize with the path because when you start Gnodev with nothing, you will have no path loaded, but you can of course have like some paths that support glob. For example, I want to load every path from the sys air on pure recursively. So you will load, of course, is the dependency also of the stem, but you can start. You don't have to trigger the proxy to reload everything. What else? I think it's okay. Oh, there is the current behavior of the previous Gnodev is stupid. It's called Gnodev staging, which is basically will be the future, probably the future portal loop, which is like it's the same Gnodev. You just have a really specific argument flag, default flag that is used for server with the unsafe API disable. Interactivity disable, watching disable, a lot of features that no watching is keep it. Proxy is disable, and it's made for server. For single package outside the monorepo, not working on the GNO monorepo, you can start Gnodev like this, like the same way I start the previous one. It will detect the package. You can even if you don't have any GNO mod, it will detect and create a module for you. It's kind of a bit of magic, but I think for developing, it's cool to have this kind of magic. And then, so this is the package on the right. If I go on the local host, it will automatically redirect with the current package you are using. So this one in GNO is detecting all the channels like before, but it's much more faster. Of course, it detects if you had like I will use strconv to AE. Oh, you already have stuff. If I use strconv, but it will detect also change if I get, for example, my blog, I import blog just to see how it handle the reload. So it will detect the dependency in blog, automatically load it and check it. And it's also much more when you do transaction. Oh, there we are. What happened? Anyway, I don't know why it's not working. Well, anyway, I just want to show it was much more fast to work with the fast reload time, even with transaction, so you can like back and forth. And that's it. It's work also with GNOBRO, of course. The same way, actually, you can reach Daemon area. It should work. Maybe it's worked from there. It's been a while I didn't test it, but no, I don't think it's worked. Too bad. That's fine. And that's it. I think it's it. So.
Thank you so much, Guilhem. The last demo for today is Zach with the GNO extension for Visual Studio Code.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I created the vscode extension for GNO. It's a fork of the vscode extension for Go, adapted for GNO. For GNO is not available on the marketplace, but you can install it manually. I've included the instruction in the repo. I made a quick video to present it. I can share my screen.
Of course.
Okay. The first was the GNO init command. You can see my screen.
It's an infinite mirror.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, we see it now.
Okay, first we have the GNO init command, which lets you initialize a GNO mode Gnoland file. Then the automatic import addition if they're not already defined. We also have auto completion, and you can add import directly with the add import command. It also provides definition for import function, etc. Next, the go to definition, which takes you to where something is defined. Go to type definition. Let you see where type is declared. We also have go to implementation and go to reference. You can use find all reference on the find all implementation to see every reference or implementation of a function or anything else. There are also local hierarchy which display the call hierarchy of the function or method. There are different commands for testing. You can run a single test in a file, all test in a file, or all test file in the workspace. This is just a quick overview, but there are other commands to like for testing or other tasks. You can check them by using the show all command in the extension or by visiting the GitHub repo, where all the commands are listed in the doc folder. This this extension includes all the features of the old extension available on the marketplace, and I've been new feature as well. My next step is to add a debugger to the extension. If any of you is VS Code, I invite you to install the extension and share your feedback. Let me know if you encounter any issue or have suggestion for improvement or new command by opening an issue on the repo. This will help me improve the extension. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Moving over to the discussion part, Antonio, you had a couple of things to share about GovDAO.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that if someone is interested in the GovDAO efforts, that we're working right now on it. We are creating a working group to share ideas and to share also workload, because we have to make it super bulletproof, and we have to add a lot of different testings. And yeah, just wanted to say that everyone that is interested and wanted to participate is totally welcome. Yeah, you can pick me to be on the working group chat that we are creating right now on Slack. It's not still created, but ping me on Slack or Signal and I will add you. Okay, thank you very much.
And make sure to check out the HackMD. Antonio left some extra context there and a couple of links relevant to this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the information I wanted to extend myself a lot. So yeah, you have more information on the HackMD. Thank you.
All right, and the last topic that we had for the day was from Nathan. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to join, so I'll just briefly share HackMD. So he had this to bring up. So he has an open PR to integrate Jay's proposal for the tiered structure of the GovDAO. And if you have some opinions, feel free to check out the link and drop your comments there. Everybody's welcome. He's also updating the amendment wording. So there's another PR there. And some more general community feedback on the Constitution is welcome. So if you're interested in the Gnoland Constitution and being one of the founding fathers, this is probably the best opportunity to do so. With that, we've wrapped up our agenda. If anybody has anything ad hoc to add to it, speak now or hold your peace until the next meeting. Going once, going twice. All right. Thank you all. Have a great day and see you on the next technical discussion.
See ya.
Have a great week.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye-bye.